Welcome, language learners, to English Unlocked, the podcast that helps you master the everyday art of speaking English. I'm your host, Alice.
And I'm Bob, your guide to making English feel natural and easy.
Today, Bob, we are tackling a topic that often makes learners feel nervous, but it's absolutely essential for using English in real life: small talk.
Small talk. It sounds small, but it's actually a huge part of communication. It's the friendly oil that keeps the social machine running smoothly.
That's a great way to put it, Bob. For our listeners who might be confused, what exactly is small talk?
Think of small talk as polite, light conversation. It's not about deep philosophy or sharing your biggest secrets. It's about filling those short, comfortable silences when you meet someone new, or when you bump into a colleague in the hallway, or when you're waiting for a meeting to start.
So it's the safe topics. What kind of topics usually fall under the umbrella of small talk?
The best small talk topics are things you share with almost everyone you meet. We often use the acronym FORD to remember the safest areas.
Ford? Like the car company?
Exactly. F for family, O for occupation, your job, R for recreation, your hobbies, and D for dreams, though sometimes D is used for dinner or even destinations like travel plans. These are generally safe and positive.
Let's look at the F then, family. What's a typical small talk question here?
You might ask, do you have any exciting plans for the weekend? If they mention family, you can follow up gently with, oh, are you visiting family? Keep it light. Avoid very personal questions like how many children do you have right away.
That makes sense. It's about being friendly, not intrusive. Let's move to O, occupation. This comes up a lot at networking events.
It does. A classic opener is, so what do you do? Or what keeps you busy during the week? A good follow-up response isn't just listing your job title. If you're an accountant, you could say, I work in finance. It keeps me busy, especially around tax season.
That gives the other person something concrete to ask about next. What about R for recreation? This seems fun.
It is. Hobbies are great because people usually enjoy talking about things they like. You could ask, what do you like to do to unwind after work? Or have you watched any good movies lately? Sharing a hobby is a great way to find common ground.
Common ground is the key, isn't it? Now, Bob, what about the absolute beginner? They might freeze up entirely. What is the most basic, fail-safe opening line we can teach them?
The ultimate fail-safe is commenting on the shared environment. This is called situational small talk. You are both experiencing the same thing right now.
Can you give us some examples?
Certainly. If it's very hot, you say, wow, this heat is something else, isn't it? If you are waiting in a long line, you can sigh lightly and say, it looks like everyone had the same idea today. Or if you're at a conference, the coffee here is surprisingly good, don't you think?
I love that. It requires zero preparation about your personal life, just an observation. What vocabulary should learners focus on when they are making these observations?
Focus on weather, the location, or the current event. For weather, use adjectives like scorching, freezing, drizzly, or glorious. For an event, use words like impressive, interesting, or crowded. And remember the power of the tag question.
Ah, the tag question. That's where you add a little phrase at the end to invite a response, right? Like, isn't it? Or don't you think?
Precisely. They are fantastic conversational hooks. Instead of saying, the weather is nice, you say, the weather is nice today, isn't it? That little isn't it is an invitation to agree or disagree.
Now, we have to talk about the opposite side of the coin, how to politely end a small talk conversation. Sometimes people just don't know how to exit gracefully.
This is crucial. You don't want to just walk away. You need a polite exit strategy. A good strategy involves thanking them and stating a mild reason why you must leave.
Give us an example exit line.
You could say, it's been really great chatting with you, but I see my colleague waving, so I should probably go say hello. Or I need to grab another cup of coffee before the next session starts. Enjoy the rest of your day.
So we signal a positive ending, it's been great, and then give a simple reason, like getting coffee or meeting someone.
Exactly. And always finish with a friendly closing phrase like take care or hope to see you around.
Bob, what about listeners who are naturally introverted? Small talk can feel exhausting. Any advice for them?
My advice is to remember your goal. Small talk isn't about becoming best friends instantly. It's about making a brief, positive connection. Focus on asking good questions rather than being interesting yourself. People generally love talking about themselves. Aim for just 2 minutes of connection. If you manage that, you've succeeded.
That takes the pressure off. Focus on the other person. Let's summarize the key takeaways for our listeners today.
First, use safe topics based on FORD, family, occupation, recreation, destination/dinner. Second, use situational talk. Comment on the weather or the environment you share. Third, always use tag questions to encourage a reply. And finally, have a polite exit strategy ready.
Excellent advice, Bob. Small talk is the bridge between silence and deeper conversation. Thank you so much for unlocking the secrets of small talk for us today.
My pleasure, Alice. Keep practicing, and soon those short chats will feel completely natural.
And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on English Unlocked. Practice these phrases, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.
Bye, everyone.